Jann Wenner is a very important guy in the history of rock music, and that's mainly because he is one of the co-founders of Rolling Stone magazine, the go-to magazine for rock music all the way up into the digital age, at which point it's now really gone to shit and nobody even cares anymore. But the fact that he co-founded that magazine has landed Jann Wenner on the board of the Rock Hall of Fame. So he has a say in everybody that goes in or does not go in. Now, Jann Wenner, in my opinion, has always been just like the height of arrogance, just pompous, everything that's stuffy and bullshit about rock and roll music. He has come out and shown his ass, as the kids say, with some just fucking moronic statements that he made. Wenner was promoting a book that he wrote called The Masters, and it's about 7 artists that he considered to be the quote-unquote philosophers of rock. Let me see here. The book, the full title of the book is The Masters, Conversations with Dylan, Lennon, Jagger, Townsend, Garcia, Bono, and Springsteen. The issue that a lot of people had was that those are all white males. When asked why there weren't any women or black artists in his book, he said, and I quote, "It's not that they're inarticulate, although go have a deep conversation with Grace Slick or Janis Joplin. Please be my guest. You know, Joni Mitchell was not a philosopher of rock and roll. She didn't, in my mind, meet that test. Of black artists, you know, Stevie Wonder, genius, right? I suppose when you use a word as broad as masters, the fault is using that word. Maybe Marvin Gaye or Curtis Mayfield? I mean, they just didn't articulate at that level. Apparently, genius is not even enough, because he says Stevie Wonder is a genius. Wenner continues, just for public relations' sake, maybe I should have gone and found one black and one woman artist to include here that didn't measure up to that same historical standard just to avert this type of criticism. Jann Wenner was then immediately dropped like a sack of shit by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Foundation. They dropped him off the board of directors, which he co-founded in 1987. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame released a statement that says, and I quote, Jann Wenner has been removed from the board of directors of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Foundation. Short and sweet. That had to be crushing for him, because at this point, Jann Wenner has no actual value. There's no way he has any fucking clue what's going on in music today. In any genre, it doesn't matter what the fuck it is. The fact that this guy just sits around and pines for like the 60s and 70s, it shows you where the dude's head's at, and it's reflected in what you see going into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You see, metal bands are shunned because of this like nose in the air snobbiness that goes with, I guess, the culture around heavy metal, which many people see as being like dumb. I mean, at this point, they're putting rappers and hip hop artists at a much faster rate than they're putting heavy metal bands in, and heavy metal bands that have sold records and that have been important to the culture. Music has completely passed him by. That's the main reason that motherfucker needed to be removed. But yeah, to me, the shittiest thing is this insinuation that everybody else is fucking stupid. That these guys were the only ones who could have been considered philosophers of rock. Like, that's even a thing. What the fuck is a philosopher of rock and roll? After his initial ass whipping, Jann Wenner did come right the fuck out and apologize through his publisher, Little, Brown and Company. He says, and I quote, in my interview with the New York Times, I made comments that diminished the contributions, genius and impact of black and women artists, and I apologize wholeheartedly for those remarks. The Masters is a collection of interviews I've done over the years that seem to me to best represent an idea of rock and roll's impact on my world. They were not meant to represent the whole of music and its diverse and important originators, but to reflect the high points of my career and interviews I felt illustrated the breadth and experience in that career. They don't reflect my appreciation and admiration for myriad totemic world-changing artists whose music and ideas I revere and will celebrate and promote as long as I live. I totally understand the inflammatory nature of badly chosen words and deeply apologize and accept the consequences. So, in your initial dumb fuck statement, he made a comment about, well, maybe I misspoke in using the term masters. And now, after that ass whipping, well, maybe I misspoke in being such a smug fuckface. Though this statement is well worded, and really this is what he should have said in the moment. The problem is JANN WENNER. Just look at this guy's whole life, from Rolling Stone to the Rock Hall and all that shit. The thing that gets him off is being the gatekeeper to this idea of, you know, rock legends. But you could tell that's what this guy loves. He loves being able to say, well, you're in, but you're fucking out, motherfucker. You're stupid. Really, what he should have said is, these are interviews I've done. I chose these 7 as a great representation of rock. He got into all this, well, fucking Janis Joplin or Joni Mitchell is hardly a rock philosopher. That's where you fucked up. It really is his own grandiose vision of himself that put him in this position. Basically, JANN WENNER, you played yourself, bitch.
You fucking income fucking poop.
You got caught up, you got high on your own supply, as they say. And you wanted to put this out there like you're up on some mountain handing out invitations to heaven. With JANN WENNER off of this board, that maybe the Rock Hall will start to open up and start to acknowledge some of the great heavy metal bands of all time, you know, outside of the few they've allowed, like Sabbath and Metallica. The fact that it took fan votes, for a long time they didn't have fan votes for the Rock Hall. But once they put it in there, that was the only way that they got Rush in the Rock Hall of Fame, Kiss, 2 gigantically huge bands that were important, incredibly important and influential bands, that it took a fan vote. If it was up to that board, those motherfuckers would have never been let in. That's why the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame fucking sucks. But they do that shit like, oh, we'll bring the kids in by putting some rapper, or people will write about how fucking stupid we are when we do this. And so it's essentially a troll. And once we're at the point where the Rock Hall is just trolling motherfuckers, keep it, man. Fuck yourself. Fuck the Rock Hall. Fuck JANN WENNER. Thank you very much. Moving on.